Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So, yeah, thank you so much, Eric, um, for this labor. Thank you so much to Karen behind the scenes, um, wrestling with AI. Um, and thank you to everyone, especially the practice leaders who hold space when I'm away. Um, Deep gratitude to all of you for being here, choosing to join us today, no matter where you are in the world. Shout out to those of you who are staying up to 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning in Europe. I remember those days having to teach from Europe at 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning. That's why I don't do it anymore. So, it's really wonderful to be back in this community with you. Shout out to everyone who has been with me in Durham and Chapel Hill the past 10 days. Um, it was really wonderful practicing with everyone. If you were at one of those retreats in North Carolina, please say hello in the chats as well. We had some very life-changing experiences in those spaces, and that's the kind of quality Dharma that you get from me. It will change your life. But before it does, it'll bother you and piss you off. Then you'll blame me, you know. Um, yeah, yeah, I see so many people, yeah. River, yeah. River last Thursday, the Thursday before last. Reverend Jacqueline hosted us there. But yeah, so good to see everyone. Yep. Miranda, um, we'll be back. Don't worry. Will be back. Um, Deep gratitude to Dharma Gates for the Chapel Hill retreat as well. It was a really beautiful time. Um, and the lands, were so generous, it was just really beautiful. So thank you. Thank you all so much. And we're getting ready now for our Europe retreats, our Berlin programs in September, followed directly by the UK retreat as well. So I may see some of you in those places as well. Um, yeah. November, I'll be in Burlington and New York City and Boston as well. So watch out for those dates as well. No Wonderwell. I'm alternating summers for Wonderwell, so I can focus. If I did every retreat, I would be in retreat like all summer. So I have to alternate now. So there can be more space. So next summer, Wonderwell, next fall, not this fall, but the fall of next year, BCBS as well. So we're kind of having to spread everything out a little more. Um, so wonderful. Thank you all so much. We have a little bit of a slightly complicated practice tonight. And we're going to be integrating two practices, two deities together, which I've done before, but maybe most of you don't remember that. Um, so we're gonna, yes, be practicing medicine Buddha, but we're gonna incorporate Tara, my Tara into it. So, um, it is possible. We're gonna figure it out. As usual, I have not tested this out, so you will be as surprised as I am, right? You may be even more surprised. Maybe I will be more surprised at what will happen, right? But I wanted to evoke Tara because I wanted to awaken a lot more compassion today because what we're going to do today is really like understand how to heal ourselves through Medicine Buddha. But it's hard to get there because so many of us don't have enough care for ourselves, right? I think that's sometimes it gets in the way, like compassion, self-compassion really gets in the way of the ways in which we need to be making choices around our own healing and well-being, right? So this is what I'm kind of stirring up in our practice. Um, so we shall see, right? And another thing that I just wanted to talk briefly about, which just kind of dropped in really recently, um, there's something about um, the ways that I think some of us are trying to negotiate in our practice. Like we're trying to bypass something that really needs to happen, right? And often we're trying to bypass the suffering, which makes sense, but sometimes we don't understand particularly that the contradictions, the paradoxes that arise in our practice are meant to be engaged with, not sidesteps, right? So you say, oh, that doesn't make any sense, so I'm not going to deal with it. In fact, that contradiction is asking for engagement, is asking to be experienced. It's asking for you to come and kind of make a home in that intersection. And that intersection, the coming together of what feels like illogical or extreme, in that intersection, it's a tension that's very generative for us. It's a tension that kind of like keeps us really from settling, right? And that lack of settling is what helps us to keep paying attention, to keep us sensitive, right? To keep us attuned. When we get comfortable, we kind of go offline, right? You get lulled into something, you get attached to that. When in fact, the work of liberation, the work of getting clear is just the ways in which we begin to embrace and tend to discomfort, right? And how discomfort or the tension that is at the heart of discomfort is actually keeping us really like sensitive, right? And the sensitivity is what we need, even though it is very intense to maintain this kind of sensitivity right now, because we just want to really shut down and numb ourselves. But in fact, we're being asked to really feel this moment, right? To feel it is to ride this moment, to ride the energy, right? Just like I was saying before, it's like the big wave that surfers, are looking for. And by the way, I don't know any surfers, right? So like I'm just going by all these old beach movies that I grew up watching with Annette Funicello, right? Annette Funicello and all these people, the big kahuna, like those old like 50, 60 movies, right? Um, but it's like, yeah, the wave, chasing that wave, like you want the big one, and right now, like this moment of systemic collapse of apocalypse, this is a huge wave. And that if we can learn to ride this, right, we can actually learn how to get free, right? But you have to lean into it. You have to go for it. And this riding the tension, sitting in the intersectionality here, and it's just being in this deep discomfort and paying attention to this discomfort is how we're evolving in our practice, right? Practice isn't supposed to feel good. It's great when it does, but that's not the purpose, right? The training, the labor, right? It's jolting. It's like a shove, right? It's trying to wake us up because we're in a deep slumber right now, right? And we're in a deep slumber intentionally because that's how we think we can cope with this moment, when in fact the moment is asking for really intense engagement, to say yes, to ride it, to eat it, to consume it, that fierceness, right? You need fierceness right now. When the world gets fierce, you meet it with fierceness. that at the heart of that fierceness is just deep care, right? It's love, right? Love, real love is fierce, right? It's unrelenting. It doesn't back down, right? So we're being asked, right, to tune into our fierceness, to tune into our deep care, not just for others, but also for ourselves. You have to give enough shit about yourself to want to get free, right? You have to believe that you deserve to be free. And quite frankly, you already are free, right? This is the work of remembering. We're not creating anything. We're not creating enlightenment, right? We're not creating awakening. You're just remember that you are awakened. You are woke, right? And to notice how samsara and how samsara conditions so many of us to actually begin to distrust real liberation, real freedom, right? Real clarity, real love, right? So these practices, Medicine Buddha, Matara, is about reorienting us back towards like this real love. And that real love brings us back to reality, brings us back to the truth of things, right? Out of all the narratives and the storylines and all of that, it brings us back to the earth where we're able to touch the earth because the earth is arising in the moment, not in the future, not in the past, but in this moment. It is in the moment, right, where we can own that we can get free. Like the moment is the only doorway to awakening, not the past, not the future, right now, right? As we practice in Soka Rinpoche's, prayer, like pay attention, don't be distracted, right? There's so much distraction right now, right? We're attempting to take refuge and to feel the tethering of sources of refuge that are anchoring us in the moment. They're anchoring us in the truth. They're anchoring us in what's happening, what's actually happening. This is what we're trying to do, right? This isn't sexy or glamorous, right? Like this isn't like this is work, the most important work that we can be doing, right? And you're not the only being doing this. You're not the only being across the universe trying to do this. There are countless beings in this moment struggling to reawaken, right? So you're a part of a collective that's actually lifting the rest of all of these like countless beings, right? Your practice individually is quite powerful, but when we're practicing together like this, like we are lifting so many beings, right? In the same way, so many beings like the Buddha, like many bodhisattvas have lifted us, right? They've inspired us, they've offered us a path back to this remembering, right? And we're doing our part by practicing and helping others to remember their awakened nature, right? And this is it. This is the apocalypse, right? And you may be saying, "Oh, it's not what I was told it was going to be." It never is. Like it never is. Well, the Bible doesn't say anything about this, but what does the Bible actually say? Who really knows, right? So but this is it, right? And if you're here, you're practicing, if you have this deep intention to be of benefit, then you are riding it. Like this moment isn't riding you, you are riding it. Mhm. And so we continue together, and we continue calling in our sources of refuge, right? You continue asking for help, right? We keep our hearts open and caring and generous, right? We keep connecting to the suffering of all beings, right? We continue to believe that there's more than this moment. There's more than this narrative, this world, right? Right? That this moment is just arising out of emptiness and space and energies, right? That's all it is, right? But everything feels so carceral, right? And this is what we're trying to shake up a little bit in our practice. So let's begin to turn our attention to the practice. So we'll have three mantras tonight. Now, Durga keeps like knocking on the back door of my mind. I know it's been probably a good year since we've done Durga. I'm not saying we are doing Durga, but I'm just putting her out there, you know. Um, but she's coming back. You know, Mother Durga is coming back into our healing work. So, um, but we will use Tara's mantra, her evoking, her welcoming mantra, Om Matara Soha, which we'll put in the chat. Of course, the opening mantra for Medicine Buddha, Om Matara, I have too many mantras running in my head now. Now Durga's there, Tara's there. Om Minla Sange Kino Soha. And of course, the main mantra Teata, right? And so we'll get to all of that as well. So let's begin. And there will be a couple of stages of practice, including time to offer the prayer. So we will definitely go over about 10 minutes or so. But I'm going to try to keep practice moving as well. Okay. All right. So let's begin by just noticing the seat, the weight of your body, how the seat is rising to hold you. Feeling that tethering from the seat as we begin. And when you're ready, just reflecting on our intention for practice, that we are practicing to get free and to help others get free. These are the most important aspirations in our practice, that we must get free, right? And we get free in order to help others get free. That is the awakening of what we call bodhicitta, right? What I call in my work awakened care. And sometimes when I'm practicing with just this aspiration to practice on behalf of all beings, I like to imagine that as I awaken this aspiration in my mind, you know, even in my heart, in my body, that when I'm really resting in this aspiration, it feels like I begin to radiate, right? I begin to kind of like glimmer and glow like a star, you know, like Tara. And by the way, Tara is flanked right behind me, green Tara, my favorite Tara. Tara means star, and so it means that Tara is like the guiding star that takes us from suffering to liberation. She illuminates, she shines in the sky. That illumination is just the illumination of her awakened mind. And we possess the same awakened mind. Tara is no different than us. Medicine Buddha is no different than us. They manifest to show us that there is no separation, right? That we are them and they are us. But to just imagine that as this aspiration awakens and takes roots in your practice, that you just begin to radiate the essence of this profound, liberatory, radical care for all beings. You don't have to think about the people that you don't like and who deserves what. You're just shining. Let yourself shine. Let yourself radiate this aspiration. Don't think about it. Just shine. And as we continue, we call in the lands that we're practicing on, living on, traditional lands, ancestral lands of so many people, so many beings. Greet the land that's holding you now and allow the land to also tether you, hold you as we move deeper into this practice. And when you're ready, we turn our attention into the space around us, the mental space around us in particular. And imagine that this radiance, right, from this aspiration, this bodhicitta, that this radiance begins to call and attract into your space all of your benefactors, all the beings who love you from across the universe, from across all the realms, right? All the living beings, all the spirit beings, the deities, the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, your ancestral guides, mentors, elders, communities, all the plant and animal allies and spirits are called. All of your heroes, your role models, everyone is called. Your radiance is calling all the beings who share the same aspiration, who radiate in the same way from deep care for all beings. You call them in. Like attracts like in this practice. So as we sit and embody this aspiration that calls in similar beings with the same aspiration, when we have different aspirations, we get different beings. But that's not what we're doing in this practice. And you can feel these beings, you can see them, you can imagine them, or you don't have to do any of that. You can just trust that they're there, even though you have no evidence. Right? But we're just calling them into the space. And imagining that these beings are gazing at us, gazing into us, allowing ourselves to be deeply seen. And they're holding, well, they're noticing and holding our deep discomfort, our confusion, our pain, our grief, our anger, our disassociation. They are meeting our suffering, holding that suffering in deep tenderness and awareness. And some of them are so deeply and closely with us in our suffering that they themselves are weeping with us. And we can even hear them saying, "You're not alone. I see you. I see the world. I feel the world with you, and you are not alone in the struggle." They are crying the tears that so many of us feel that we have no access to, that we feel so deeply connected from. So their deep, profound gaze reaches into that sadness and they channel that sadness into their own experience and they weep for us. And we feel that holding, that tenderness, that comfort, that belonging. We imagine that they begin to radiate this care into the space around us, this radiance, this soft white light that's also radiating from them, and it begins to meet our own radiance. And the light begins to intensify. And we find ourselves, our physical bodies dissolving in this radiance, in this light, leaving only awareness, knowing, our awareness resting within emptiness itself. And again, we turn our awareness to this aspiration. May we get free on behalf of all beings. And feeling that aspiration stir within this emptiness, right? An energy of our mind, our consciousness. And the stirring begins to take form. And this form is first arising as an orb, a ball of light. And slowly this ball of light begins to take the form of Tara herself, the great mother of liberation, because this Tara that's forming is actually us, as our awareness now takes shape as the mother. We don't have to imagine anything. We don't have to pretend like we're Tara, like the figures behind me. We just say that we are the great mother of liberation, and we are. Filled with this light, radiating this light, being held by all of our benefactors from across the universe. We are the light of the world. We are the great liberators. And we turn our attention to her mantra, Matara Soha, which is simply a greeting to the Great Mother. Matara Soha. So beginning with chanting the mantra 3 times, and then ending with All right, and we begin. Matara Soa. Azara Zoa. Azara Zoa. We feel the radiance, the vibrations of this sacred mantra radiating through the entire universe. These waves of profound, fierce compassion beginning to liberate all beings who are ready to get free. But slowly, we also begin to imagine that all of our benefactors who are kind of creating this kind of shield, this sphere, of deep care around us, imagining that they begin to increase in number and size, and this sphere around us that's radiating this profound care around us as Tara begins to grow and widen. And slowly, the space around us begins to take shape. It begins to kind of ripple. And in its rippling, the space around us begins to take the form of Medicine Buddha, of Minla Sangye. And as Tara, we begin to discover that we are rising within the heart of Medicine Buddha, held deep within Medicine Buddha. We are the heart of Medicine Buddha, as the heart of all the Buddhas are compassion, deep love, deep care. We are the heart of Medicine Buddha. And as Medicine Buddha, the great healer, begins to take shape around us, we turn our attention to his mantra, his opening mantra, Minla Sangye Kino Soha. Medicine Buddha, please think of me, please know me, please hold me, please accompany me. And again, chanting the mantra 3 times and ending with again. And we begin. Om la Sangye Kino Soha. Om la Sangye Kino Soha. Om la Sangye Kino Soha. And slowly we begin to imagine that our mind as Mother Tara and the mind of Medicine Buddha begin to merge. They begin to entwine themselves around each other until there is no separation of Tara's mind and Medicine Buddha's mind, and we are simply one expression, the integration of profound healing and liberatory compassion. But even further, we begin to imagine that in the space in front of us, we begin to imagine who we think we are. We begin to appear in front of us, in front of ourselves, as the integration of Tara and Medicine Buddha. So we find ourselves as the deity gazing back at ourselves in our ordinary, regular form, gazing deeply into our own being, our own manifestation, with the profound care of all the Buddhas. This sacred gaze, our darshan, is holding all of our complexity, all the things that we love and all the things that we push away, is being held by ourselves as the deity, gazing upon another expression of ourselves as regular, ordinary, everyday beings. And as we begin to turn our attention to Medicine Buddha's mantra, the main mantra, we begin to imagine that from Medicine Buddha's heart, where Tara is still arising, that Tara begins to radiate this stream of soft white light, which is the integration of profound healing and liberatory compassion, radiating that stream of energy right into our heart centers in front of us. That our awakened nature begins to heal, to bless our ordinary selves. So we turn our attention to the mantra. Teata Baconze, Maha Baconze, Rasa Sumungat Te Soha. Like this, I pray for the end of pain and suffering and the root of pain and suffering, and I release the energy of this prayer out to all the worlds, to all the beings, so that we all may be liberated, that we all may be liberated without judgment, without separation, that any being, regardless of who and what they are, will be liberated through this mantra. May it be so. We begin. Uteyanda begenze ma begenze rasu sumunga te soa. Teyanda begenze ma begenze rasu sumunga te soa. Teyanda begenze 마비근세 라스 수몽아레소아 제야나 옴베근세 베근세 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 마비근세 라스 수문가르소아 제한다 원비근세 비근세 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 마비근세 라스 수문가르소아 Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa Deyanda Om Begenze Begenze Ma Begenze Rasu Sumungaru Zoa. We turn our attention to the prayer requests. Again, calling to the space all of our sources of refuge, all the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, all the spirit guides, the protectors and guardians of the phenomenal world, all beings of light. We call you into this space and we offer these prayers to you that you work on our behalf to bring about the fruition of these prayers while at the same time showing us and offering us the capacity and the resources to bring about the fruition of these prayers as well. And we begin by offering prayers that I may merge with Source and grow with a loving reciprocation of community. Prayers that all peoples may have the courage to fill and integrate their shadows. Prayers for my dear sister who was in the ER all weekend. Prayers that they stop the bleeding and that she can go home and attend our reunion by plane later this month. Offering prayers that she is emboldened to surrender and trust outside help now that this emergency event has pulled loved ones around her to help. May she rely on them moving forward. Offering prayers with the UCLA, that UCLA produces the anesthesiologist needed for the procedure she needs today. I found myself going deeper into myself and separating from early expectation. It feels like escape, fugitivity, like taking refuge. Prayers that I'm discerning correctly and not acting out dysfunction that will come to bite me later. Prayers for her that she has a good transition leading up to her senior year that's starting. Prayers that I find a good paying job soon and that I can also have Tuesdays free for chaplaincy school. Prayers that for all abandoned and starving in the world may all experience deep consolation and care inside. Prayers for myself as I recover from COVID a second time. May I honor what the body needs and listen to it as well. Prayers for C and F, their grief and pain, and for E now in the spirit realm. Prayers of love and relief for human and animal beings suffering with hunger, prayers of gratitude and fortitude for Lama Rod and Rachel Wooten and their support teams, that they have all they need to continue. Offering prayers for my mom that what she most needs and serves the highest good comes to fruition immediately. Prayers for my raw open heart for continued healing and transformation and a little sweetness to ease the way. Prayers for financial ease, for the clearing of debt immediately so I can save. Prayers for M&P for long and healthy lives with us. Prayers for H and his birthday week for joy and celebration. Offering prayers for M that he can wake up from numbing and cynicism into awareness and tenderness. Prayers for all those who still are recovering from Chantel and the many other recent experiences of flash flooding causing catastrophic loss. Prayers for the wide opening exit from current employment and the swift opening and guidance toward my next best creative employment step. Prayers for me to help me to release anger and blame in this dysfunctional relationship with my husband. May we open our hearts and release each other into a place of peace and love. Gratitude for all I have learned. Prayers of joy and gratitude for the space, all of you and everyone everywhere working for collective liberation. Thank you. Prayers for A, who is struggling with their mental health, and for H and R after the passing of R's father. May they be held in their grief. Prayers for the safe and easeful re-entry of my fellow travelers and for the protection of a group of queers who will be doing healing work together soon. Prayers for some clarity and possibility to emerge from my liminal housing situation. Prayers for my mom's health, healing, and housing security. Prayers for M to be resourced and stable. Prayers for R to be healed and freed. Prayers I move from stillness to productivity. Prayers for movement. Prayers for the parents of for JNAC and I. Prayers for Lama Rod, especially of deep gratitude. Prayers for everyone everywhere in all the worlds and times to be free and bring about an abolitionist world. Prayers for Amir in Gaza. Prayers for myself and all those who suffer from Hurricane Katrina 20 years ago. Prayers for the people of Congo and Sudan whose suffering is wildly horrific and has not enough global eyes, ears, and prayers and actions and voices of protest. May they be liberated from their suffering. Prayers for Andy and her sister who is at the hospital as they navigate medical issues and systems. Prayers for Terry and Billy as they deal with his diagnosis, congenital heart failure, and the lifestyle changes and fears associated with that. Prayers for liberation of all beings and everything in the universe, in the multiverse. May all have a day as wonderful and strange as I am having. Prayers that we all become awakened quickly for the benefit of all sentient beings. Prayer for my mom who is currently in the Caribbean, Guadalupe. Prayers for me to see clarity and help me to find a new professional path as I decide to change career and go into yoga for teens, children, elderly people, and sound bath. but it is tough as the cost of living in the UK is high and doubt is kicking in. Prayers to the woman who was in the waiting room today on hospice. May all beings who are suffering from any illness receive healing and recover soon, using this life to uncover all their limitless potential. May we be free from sickness, loneliness, anxiety, and pain. May all feel supported, safe, loved, and protected. Prayers as I continue to walk through cancer treatment and care with the people and support of so many beings seen and unseen. May I have all I need to be healed. Prayers for all of us practitioners of Dharma. May we be filled with faith and resilience and never give up on the reality of liberation. Prayers for B and C to find healthy partnerships that support their healing and awakening. Offering prayers for us to experience remission from our cancer. Prayers for all those suffering from addiction, including myself and my family, as we all work through generations of family trauma. Continued prayers for Ricky Joyner as he finishes his last week of chemo and radiation for his healing and long life. Prayers of support for his wife Diane and their family. Prayers for my ongoing efforts to deal with neuropathy. May enough healing occur so that it's not a continuous distraction. Prayers to be able to offer comfort and care to myself instead of efforting, and to feel the love and care offered by the universe in so many ways. Prayers for my children as they deal with their children on the autism spectrum, and for my son that he finds more satisfying employment not affected by the administration's whims regarding tariffs, that he finds something that truly engages his many talents, and may they all be happy and healthy. Prayers that the Israeli government will wake up to the untenable and horrific suffering they're inflicting on the Palestinians, the hostages, and the many people of Israel and all over the world who are in tremendous opposition to this war. May all people wake up to our interconnectedness and stop othering people and all the horrific projections and suffering this causes. Prayers for Ishu, Oya, and Mahariat. Prayers for all captives in material and spiritual realms for deep love and abundant clarity, for L and L to find their way into confidence and agency, for us to remember our magic. Prayers that I resolve my credit card debt this year once and for all. Prayers for K that he be liberated from body dysmorphia. Prayers for all caregivers in all capacities to maintain connected to spirit and stay connected from harm. Prayers for all those families separated by ice. Prayers for clarity surrounding the decision to parent in these times. Always prayers for our incarcerated families still in need of safe and accommodating housing and care. Prayers for a sustainable source of income. Prayers for A and W as they embark in parenting a child with complex medical needs. Prayers to let go of resentments and grief. Prayers that all beings may recognize the intense need for change and work at this time. May we turn towards compassion, love, and liberation. Prayers I walk with fierce tenderness and care and the release of anger and shame. May I have all I need to get clear and take action. Prayers as I carry this impossible grief in the second year of the rest of my life without my dad. I am lost and feeling further and further away from deep care and belonging. May you find that belonging. May you find ease and peace in this grief. And may we all be liberated from these systems of violence and harm. May all systems be completely abolished. May we be released. And may we remember in our release who and what we are. May all beings in this world system and all the worlds be completely free as quickly as possible. And may it be so right now. And as we turn our attention back to our prayer, we offer these prayers to all our sources of refuge, continuing to ask them to work on our behalf and to show us also what to do as well to bring about the fruition of these prayers. And we turn our attention back into the practice, back into the mantra, and as this energy of Matara and Buddha and Medicine Buddha flow into us, our ordinary selves, may we be filled with this light, this radiance, and that we begin to radiate the healing of true liberatory healing and compassion throughout this world and all the worlds. And slowly, ourselves as Medicine Buddha, and Tara begins to dissolve into white light. We imagine this light being deeply absorbed into our heart centers. And we are once again ourselves, but deeply blessed and radiating with the power, the clarity, the care of not just Medicine Buddha and Ma Tara, but all of the Buddhas. May we rest in this radiance, may we rest in this confidence, and may we light up this world. May we illuminate all the dark places. May we free all of the oppressed. May all systems through this radiance be completely abolished, all systems completely eradicated. And may we imagine in this radiance that all beings are awakening back to their true nature. O Teana Begenze Ma Begenze Razu Sumunga Tesua 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 Teana Begenze Ma Begenze 라서 수문간에 소아 대한나 온배근세 배근세 마배근세 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 라서 수문간에 소아 대한나 배근세 배근세 마배근세 라서 수문간에 소아 대한나 온배근세 배근세 마배근세 라서 수문간에 소아 대한나 온배근세 배근세 마배근세 라서 수문간에 So we begin to imagine that our radiance that's flooding into all the worlds begins to collect right back into our heart centers. And all of our benefactors who have been supporting and protecting our space, that they dissolve into light, and they, as light, dissolve into our heart centers. And this light, this radiance, this clarity remains there anytime for us as long as we remember. May we take refuge in our innate, awakened nature. So connecting to the seat again, the weight of your body, the seat rising to hold you, to the earth rising to hold all of us, to the sacred lands that are caring for us. We begin to slowly reawaken our bodies through simple, slow movement, slowly, gently. And we turn our attention to Shantideva's prayer. Found in the chat box. We will recite this 3 times. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey in a boat, a bridge, a passage, for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. And finally, may I be a protector to those without protection, and a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. All right, thank you all so much for your practice. And I will see you again next week. Until then, be well, be protected. Remember your practice. Remember your deep love and compassion. Remember that Tara and Medicine Buddha and all the Buddhas are accessible. Right? You only have to think about them and open to their love, and they are with you. Okay? All right, well, may you all be well and safe and protected until we meet again.